Hello, hello, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good evening. Hello, Canine. Good to see you. The other few people that are out there. As many of you know, I took the night off last night. I was busy making soap and trying to clean up, and I was wore out. Hello, Ginger. Pam, hello. Welcome in. We're happy to have you. Happy to have you. Love newcomers. So, yeah, tonight we're just going to chat. I found a couple of random videos I thought we'd kind of watch. Um, Try to start chatting and, you know, thinking about Sebastian Rogers and this whole case and what's going on. And, I mean, we haven't heard from At Night much. Landy Rowe, hello, hello. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. There was one, let me see, update from At Night, and it was Hong actually that put it in there. Not really an update, but I'll share it. So he says, and it was At Night. It was Hong, so Hong must be an employee of At Night. 250K reward. Other neighbors saw something that night. Tell me, I'll pay you. And he gives a phone number to call. So other neighbors saw something that night. Tell me, I'll pay you. What did they all see, right? So I thought I'd show you what I was busy making last night or yesterday. Reindeer poop soap. I know, sounds goofy, right? It's not really reindeer poop, guys. But sometimes some of these fragrances for soaps have funny names. So I picture something in my head, and that's what I did with this one. And I kind of wanted to make it like a snowy scene. So I used like a suspending soap base so that these turds would just, go everywhere. The fragrance is not, it smells really, really nice, guys. But it's my little joke soap of the winter, right? I know, I have a weird sense of humor, right? uh, Gotcha. So, yeah, my reindeer poop soap. And then there's the snowy scene. And the fragrance, it says Jingle Bells, but it smells like kind of a foresty winter smell. And my middle tree kept tipping over, and I tried to hold it up, but it wanted to be tipped, so I let it tip. My soap is never perfect, but it smells wonderful and works nicely. So that's what I was doing last night, guys. Thank you, Jackie. You can ask Brenda Joe. It smells really, really good. Let me see if I can find the notes that it's made up of. Not what you would think at all. Okay, it's reindeer poop fragrance oil. Hmm. Okay, top notes are apples and pears. Middle notes are eucalyptus, pine, and geranium. And the base notes are vanilla, cedarwood, and patchouli. So it smells really, really good, guys. So those of you who want it, I got them all wrapped up tonight, and I'll probably be putting the packages out tomorrow. So, but yeah, so Hong wants to know what the neighbors know, right? And I imagine they are afraid to talk, right? I mean, some of them are definitely afraid of Mr. Proudfoot. Hello, Mally Cat. Good to see you. Canine, good to see you. So, yeah, some of them are afraid to talk, but maybe if they're gonna get paid to talk, maybe they will, right? So we can only hope. Yeah, but there was a couple of them. Let's see. I'm going to share my screen, and these were from early on, right? So, but I thought, haven't seen it for a while. Going to go ahead and play it. I don't know if I ever really saw this one. Start it over. And Katie was actually on this one alone. So I found that kind of.
Tonight, we need your help to find a missing Tennessee teenager. During the early morning hours of February 26, 2024, 15-year-old Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers disappeared from his home in Hendersonville, Tennessee. That's about 20 miles north of Nashville. He's not been seen or heard from since. And Sebastian is now the subject of an Amber Alert. Joining us now is Sebastian's mom, Katie Proudfoot. Katie, thanks for being with us under what must be very difficult circumstances. First of all, how are you and your family holding up?
I would say that this isn't a tragedy that we would wish anyone to ever experience. We're keeping our faith, and we're praying every day that we're going to find Sebastian.
What's the latest on the search?
So law enforcement is exploring any and all possibilities. They're communicating daily with us about updates and the statuses. We have faith that all the law enforcement agencies involved are doing everything that they can, and we're going to find Sebastian and bring him home.
We know the most important thing right now is to get the word out about Sebastian. What would you like our viewers to know about your son?
Sebastian, he is high functioning autistic. He loves animals. He loves video games. He loves fishing. Green tea.
You're so goofy.
He's typically a very, very sweet boy. He can be quite temperamental, though, if he's overstimulated or if he's stressed out. He has a unique run. He runs like the Naruto anime character. When he's excited, he likes to dab, and he loves music. He loves to dance.
That's all very helpful information. Now, if Sebastian is out there watching, what would you like to say to your son?
I would
See teenager.
Oh, sorry guys. I kind of pushed that all the way off. I don't know where we were at. But is it me, or does she make him sound like a weirdo? And I don't mean that in any sense. I don't mean it, but I feel like that's what she says. That's how she portrays him. Right? No, she doesn't sound traumatized, does she, Pam? Let's see here. All right. Can LE prevent them from talking? I mean, not really, but I mean, they can. If it's like in a criminal case, they can put a gag order on things. But this hasn't hasn't gone to any kind of court yet. You know? Yeah, the pictures were young ones, right? But yeah, I mean, you know, to me, she made, you know, when she says he runs goofy like an anime character. What else was it that she said? It just, to me, it was, I know, right, Pam? I mean, this was, let's see, like 8 months ago. So, you know, Sebastian had been gone about, well, 413 right in front of me. Yeah. So not quite 2 months after Sebastian disappeared. I did notice she's speaking of him in the present tense. You know, I'm trying to pick up things, guys, as far as, you know, is he still with us? And I mean, I'm going to believe that until they beat me over the head with it, right? But if we're going to look at this objectively, we got to look at every angle, and that's what I'm trying to do. And honestly, guys, I mean, Katie and Chris have made their own beds, right? I believe in my heart of hearts that they are guilty of what I don't know. Did they give him to somebody? Did something nefarious happen? And then they got scared and tried to get rid of I don't know. But I want to believe for Seth's sake that he is with us, that there's nothing happened. And that's how I'm going to look at it until or unless they beat me over the head with some kind of evidence, because I look at that sweet boy and his smile. And that was another thing that they said, right? They said that they didn't want, well, you'll hear that in the next video. Let's finish this one up. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, she did avoid that first question. Very detached answer. Okay, so let's continue on with this one. I don't know. I kind of ended up going back to the
He is
beginning.
high functioning autistic. He loves animals. He loves video games. He loves fishing.
Present tense.
You're so goofy.
He's typically a very, very sweet boy.
That's definitely her voice talking to Sebastian. You're so goofy. No, I get a mother would say that, right? But I get the sense that I really feel, I get the sense from Katie that she feels like she wants her kid to be normal. And the fact that he's not is an embarrassment to her. That's what I feel from her. Hi, Nutter. Good to see you. You know, I could be wrong, but that's the sense I get. And I love that little video of him. Let's go back a little bit, because I love that video of him. He's being silly. He's being fun. There's nothing wrong with that. My youngest little girl was like that. And she just had us laughing all the time. Our house would have been boring without her. You know, she was such a joy. She really was. Okay.
Games. He loves fishing. Green tea.
You're so goofy.
He's typically a very, very sweet boy. He can be quite temperamental, though, if he's overstimulated or if he's stressed out. He has a unique run. He runs like the Naruto anime character. When he's excited, he likes to dab, and he loves music. He loves to dance.
That's all very helpful information. Now, if Sebastian is out there watching, what would you like to say to your son?
I would say, Bubba, we love you. We all love you so much. Wherever you are, just know that we are not going to stop. We're going to keep searching. We're going to find you. We're going to bring you home. And if you ever get an opportunity, find a phone, find a safe adult, call 911. But I'd also like to ask our community to please keep searching your properties. Keep sharing his flyer. If you know something or you see something, please say something. Call the law enforcement immediately.
All right. Tell me what you felt about that last plea. That's a common term in the South. They call their children, boys, basically Bubba. It's a pretty common term. Yeah, she was flatlined. So yeah, I don't think anything of calling him Bubba, because that's very common in the South. Very, very common in the South. Surprised they don't name their children Bubba. Maybe some do. I don't know, but it is very, very common in the South. But what are your thoughts, guys? So she got teary-eyed there. I think that was legit. But did you hear the plea? Please keep checking your properties. Is there something hidden there that we don't know? I mean, I'm just saying, why is she saying that? Let me play it again. That part.
If you know something or you see something, please say something. Call the law enforcement immediately.
We're going to do everything we can to help find him.
Thank you.
Okay.
Please say something. Keep sharing his flyer. Community to please keep searching your properties. Keep sharing his flyer.
Please. How many pleases were there? Is she saying something there? What do you think, guys? Yeah. I think so too. I think it was all planned out. Well, hi, Dom. Good to see you. Welcome in. Sounds like she's reciting. You think so? She does look like she's looking down at something. Right. After 3 days, he needs water. After 7 days, he needs food. That's very true. And Sebastian, if you think about this, guys, he's been very sheltered, hasn't he? I mean, they didn't even let him on the internet. Minded you of Susan Smith's plea? What about the tears? Did you believe them? Or do you think it's more she's crying out of guilt? I'm just curious because I mean, in the beginning, she's so flat. She never talks about him, in my opinion, the way a mother would. I mean, a normal mother, so we have our children. We all know each one is different, right? Each child has a different personality. But if one of those children went missing, are you going to get on TV, on podcasts, whatever? And are you going to talk negative things about your child? I don't think so. Right? I wouldn't. I wouldn't be telling people out of guilt, Nutter. Yeah. I wouldn't be telling people negative things about my child. I really would not. Now, in his case, it really is hard, right? I agree with you, Ginger, to make unbiased comments after hearing about the CPS reports. Yeah. Right, Nutter? Yeah, you're not going to talk about the negative things. Now, in this case, because it's very relevant, if somebody were to see Sebastian on the street, it's important to say he's high functioning autistic. I agree with that 100%, right? But you don't need to talk about the things that how he runs goofy, or how, I don't know. I just don't, yeah. Yeah, I agree, Canine Week. She does not respond the way a grieving mother should. And yes, I say grieving. I don't mean that because I think he's gone. You're grieving because your son is missing, right? And you don't know where he is. So you are grieving. That's grief. He's not there, right? Right. Yeah. You don't talk negative. Nevertheless, on national TV, I mean, On Patrol is pretty big. On Nancy Grace, they did the same thing, didn't they? They told negative sides of Sebastian. And they're the ones that started it, not Seth. Bingo, Melissa, bingo. That's what I think as well. Guilt and sorrow for whatever happened. I agree. Yep, he'd be begging for food and water. We all have the instincts. And no one has seen him. Not one person. Or if they have, they're not saying. Right? If they have seen him, they're not saying. And that, to me, that says a lot, guys. You know, we're going on 11 months in a couple of weeks here. It's almost a year. And no one has seen Sebastian. You know, no one. It breaks my heart. It really does. It breaks my heart. Let's see what the rest of this is.
If you know something or you see something, please say something. Call the law enforcement immediately.
Right back
We're
at
gonna
you,
do everything we
Katie.
can to help find him.
Thank you.
Now, let's take a good look at Sebastian. He's 15 years old, 5'5", 120 pounds, with light brown hair and brown eyes and wears glasses. If you've seen Sebastian or know anything about his disappearance, please call the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE-LOST. That's 1-800-843-5678.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I love that. Did you see that, guys? They're saying call the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children if you see him. They're not saying to to call Sumner County. I love it. I love it. I love it. There were tears. Yeah. And I believe that they were real because her voice shook. But I think it's guilt. I think it's guilt. So then the next one that I was going to play. Hello, Pam. Was a Banfield one. And I loved what was said on here. That's why I'm going to play this one.
I'm joined now by Sebastian's father, Seth Rogers, and his spokesperson, Tony Mathis. Thank you to the both of you. And Seth, I'm really so sorry that, here we are having this conversation with News Nation again about your son, Sebastian, and it's been all these months. Do you have any updates? Have you heard anything, any leads, anything at all from the police?
No, ma'am.
This was 4 months in, guys.
Every lead that I do come across, I have my private investigators searching into it.
And have they come up with anything? Have they been helpful?
We've had pictures and stuff come in. My private investigators track it down. And then we find out that it's just another rabbit hole. Sumner County, I give them all the tips that I get. Just not really.
And so when you give them the tips that you come up with your private investigators, are they thankful? Do they indicate to you that this is helpful? Do you have a good relationship with the police? Do you feel like they're on your side, that they're working hard?
That's what they're conveying to me. But
I
at the
can't
same point
imagine
in
how
time,
hard this must be.
I'm not seeing my son's not here. This is my first Father's Day. What made me a father is not here.
I'm so sorry. I'm just so sorry. If there's, anything we can do, we'll keep the story, in the news. What's so bizarre is that Katie and Chris packed up and left that home. Are you in contact with them at all? I know originally they weren't talking to you at all. They weren't sharing information, which also seemed bizarre to me. Even if a split up is acrimonious, you still have this shared goal, right? To find your boy. Has it gotten any better between you and Katie in terms of sharing info?
It doesn't feel like a shared goal. It sure doesn't feel like a shared goal.
Wow.
It feels like it's only my goal and all of Sebastian's army. It's their.
It feels like it's only my goal and all of Sebastian's army. It's not a shared goal with the parents. I agree, K9. I agree. I would be terrified thinking of what my child might be going through or where they are. I wouldn't be worried about what people think or say about me. Yeah. And what has been, that is the one thing when they come on, when Chris comes on, it's not about Sebastian. Heaven forbid you say anything about his truck or his mummy. It's about defending himself, his truck, and his mom, and Katie. He defends Katie. Right. But here's the thing. I was listening to Justin earlier today. Clutched on Pearls. If you haven't, subbed up, go sub up to him. He has some really good information. He has talked to a lot of the neighbors. He's talked to people who know Chris and Katie. And one of the things that he said was, I lost my train of thought. I was looking at the thing. What's the questions for, Pam? It'll come to me in a second. Let's watch a little more of this and then we can.
Their goal. It's my goal to find Sebastian. But as for contact between me and the Proudfoots, there has been no contact.
Okay, so this was 4 months in, and it came back to me what I was going to say. So, yeah, I would never leave that house. Justin had stated that somebody very close to Chris and Katie had said that their marriage was on the rocks. That Chris was already looking into financial things, and also that it's not in that great shape right now. But if you think about this, if they're guilty of something, they're kind of stuck together, wouldn't you think? And if you think about it, it makes sense, guys. Because they don't act like a normal married couple. When you've seen them together, I mean, the only time we ever saw them touch each other was the infamous hands video. On that first interview, there was one point where she was kind of teary-eyed. She was at a loss for words, and she just turned her head and put her head on his shoulder. Now, any other man, I could think about the Petitos and the Schmidts, right? Any other man would have put his arm around her. Not Chris. Wasn't there for her. You think he's a weak link? You think Katie's stronger than Chris? He does talk more than she does, doesn't he? And he lies quite a bit. I mean, he's a weak link. He'll talk. You're probably right in the fact that, yeah, exactly. They'll send KP sailing if it means protecting Chris. Absolutely. That family will. Yeah. And Katie knows that because she knows what happened to Nina. She was there the whole time that was going on with Nina. She was a part of that. Right? Yeah, interesting. Let's continue.
Still nothing.
It's like I'm the only one that misses my son.
You know, let me ask you, Tony, if you can jump in here. I know that you and Seth asked for the FBI to engage, take over, become a part of the case. Where has that gone, if anywhere?
Well, as you well know, Ashley, it's only going to go somewhere if the Sumner County asks for them to take the case over. And kind of where we're at and where I've been all along is I just want them to answer one simple question for Seth. And I feel like that he deserves an answer to this question. Are they closer today than they were February 26th? And if the answer to that is no, or we can't get an answer, then I think it's only logical that the case be elevated.
Yeah, it seems, I mean, what are we? I think 114 days. I understand that investigators can't always share everything, but do you feel, Tony, that at least they have been, I don't know, optimistic or helpful or hopeful, or at least been keeping Seth up to speed on what they're doing?
I think that we feel like that the communication could always be better. And, you know, let's put you or I as a parent in Seth's shoes. If they can't give you an answer to the question, are you any further along today than you were 114 days ago? I mean, as a parent, are you not terrified to hear that?
I can't imagine it. Seth, if Sebastian can hear you, if he's out there, what's your message for him?
Same as it's always been. I need you to get away from whoever you're near. Get to a phone. My phone is still on, son. The same phone number. Everything. I need you to call me. I need you to call 911. I need you to tell who you are. That you need to tell them that you are wanted. I need you home. I need to know you're safe. I need you, buddy. You've always been my buddy, and you will
Stay
always be
strong.
my brother.
Stay strong, Seth. We got your back here. We're going to keep the story on the air. Somebody knows something, and there's going to be a lead that turns up. In the meantime, we do want people to know, Seth Rogers and Tony Mathis, thank you for this. We do want people to know that if you have any information on the whereabouts of Sebastian Rogers, please call the Sumner County Sheriff
Yeah.
at 615-451-3838. Again, take a picture of your screen. I always say it's 615-451-3838.
Okay. So I don't know about you guys, but every time I see Seth crying, I get teary-eyed. It bothers me so much. Oh, goodness. What are your thoughts? I mean, here we are. That was in June. Yeah, that was in June, right after Father's Day. Or right before Father's Day, either one, but it was right around Father's Day. And here we are into January, and I would imagine that Seth never thought that this would go on this long. Well, you know, whether you like Tony or whether you don't, the whole point is that he's been there for Seth. He's been Seth's rock. And from everyone that is real close to those guys, I mean, Tony and his wife had Seth over for Christmas because Seth didn't have the money to go to Texas. So, you know, they brought him to Oklahoma with them. So they're there for him, and he needs that support, you know. And so I think he plays an important role in Seth's life right now. But I just, there's no evidence that boy turn on her like a pack of rabid dogs. Yeah. There's no evidence that boy walked out of the home. So what happened? Right? And no matter what, you have to look at Katie. And it seems like Chris was home. There has been things that have come to light, including geofencing of his truck. Yeah. Why doesn't she sound that upset? Yeah. But there are things that have come to light about his truck being home that weekend. You've just got to wonder what happened. What happened in that house? What was the plan? Because I don't believe that this could all be an accident and there be no evidence left behind other than the fact that, and we're going to get to the next video, they handled this case wrongly from the start. The police did. You're very right, K9. Hello, Queen of ASEAN. Good to see you. Yeah. Seth and Sebastian's army are the people that care about him. They are. And Seth said it right in that video, didn't he? Let's share my screen. And we're not going to watch all of this, but we are going to watch part of it.
Studio. He's not facing the camera, but are we really surprised?
No.
Yeah, great time in the snow today. Dude was having a vibe and a half.
This is the Lore Lodge with Aiden.
Just thought you should see this because what we're about to talk about is not happy. So here's some Archie for you.
This is the happiness.
This is the happiness that we're starting the day with, and then it's about to get sad. Would you like down or up? Okay. All right. Here we go.
Once again, he is baby.
He is baby. So he'll get a few scratches. Anyway, I have just started working on the next Jean Benet video, part 4. I thought this was going to be a particularly long 1-part video, and I was wrong. But I started working on part 4 today, and that was a little bit of reacquainting myself with what we'd already done. It's been a few weeks, but then also sort of jumping through, and we're finally getting the part that I feel like I am best at when it comes to this, which is the interview analysis.
Yeah, I know you've been looking forward to this for several weeks.
For those of you who have seen the Sebastian Rogers series and now the just full documentary that
Hi,
went up
Pitter Patter.
on Friday,
Thank
you'll
you.
know most of what I did with that case was comparing interviews, looking for inconsistencies in the story. Because when you have no physical evidence, which is basically the case with JonBenet, I mean, the intruder did it side will argue till the cows come home that the unknown DNA proves that the Ramseys had nothing to do with this. And in my opinion, first of all, I keep seeing more and more coverage that says the intruder, the DNA is not as strong of a profile as they keep insisting it is. So we have somebody who's supposed to be taking a look at that. I haven't checked in on that in a little bit. So I got to go through and see where we're at with
You
that.
have been ill.
I am sick also. I have not been well. This is like a few weeks that I should have had this like handled, but I also didn't know what questions to ask necessarily. I just got to get it done.
Plus, they did when we first messaged them about this. They did say it was going to take some time. So.
Yeah. So I'm also not there yet. You know, I'm not at that part. Would I love to have an answer? Yes. But am I there yet? No. But for those who watch the Sebastian Rogers stuff, this is a similar situation where there's really no physical evidence because the police did not handle it the way they should have. In the Sebastian Rogers case, it's much worse because if I am the police and I get that phone call, that 911 call at like 6 a.m. from the Proudfoots, I didn't think this at the time because I hadn't studied the JonBenet case. But if I'm a police officer, I assume that I've at least read about the JonBenet case and what went wrong. Perhaps not. If that is not the case, then have we learned nothing, guys?
He brings up a really good point, guys. After the JonBenet case, where they totally blew it, right? They did. They blew it. And there's still not definitive answers in that case of who unalived JonBenet Ramsey, the precious little girl, right? They did the same exact thing. You guys are so sweet. Thank you. Thank you. It means so much to me. You guys are awesome. I love all of you. It made me forget what I was going to say. Oh my goodness. I'm going to giggle for you. Oh, okay. So yeah, they totally let everybody run through JonBenet Ramsey's home, right? And then after that case, they set protocols of what should be done. Did Hendersonville police do that? Oh, no. No, no, no. No. Instead, they believed Katie and Chris that Sebastian ran away. Yeah. I don't know. I think regular police would know. I think regular police would know. And the reason I say that is that they go to seminars, they have to go to stuff like that. They go to updates and things. I mean, they'd have to know that because they're the first ones on the scene, right? So, and they let everybody run through Katie and Chris's house too, all over it. I mean, when Chris got there, when Seth got there, he said that Kathy Bowersox was there. They were all inside the house. And that was the same thing with the Ramseys. They had friends or something over in the living room. So you think I'm not following Pitter Patter? Yeah. Yeah. I agree. But yeah, they made the same doggone mistakes, and that's what Aiden's talking about. He cannot believe that they did the same thing again, and he said that makes Sebastian's case worse because they had the knowledge, right? Officers are taught what to look for, especially to be the first on the scene. They're taught. And they call in, right? They call into their supervisor but from what I hear, from what Bobby said, right? She said there were all kinds of officers on the scene. So you can't tell me that a supervisor wasn't on the scene or a detective wasn't on the scene. They were just letting people walk in. I agree. The sheriff office was leading this case. They still are, and they should be held accountable. I agree. They're still holding themselves as a lead investigating office in this case. So I'll be nice. Mr. Craddock needs to be held responsible because he's been on this case from the beginning. He was the investigator on the case in the beginning, from the beginning. He needs to be held responsible. But here we have it. They let everything run amok. Yes, I mean they were out there, they pounded the pavement. All that was good. And guys, it only took them a week. I don't know if only is the right word, but it took them a week to realize that Sebastian didn't walk out because there was absolutely no footage of him walking anywhere. None. Zilch, zero. So they knew. They aren't dummies. They had to realize when the dogs didn't pick up a scent, didn't hit on anything outside the home, that something was fishy. The problem is they've got to build their case, and they've got to build it good, and they've got to build it tight, right? Because it needs to go the distance when they do press charges. And I believe I believe with all my heart that somebody's going to be held accountable in this case. I really do believe that. Yeah, exactly, Ginger. They refused to turn it over to the TBI or the FBI. They did. And that actually ties up TBI and FBI's hands. It does. They can only do so much. Let's continue on.
Based on everything you've covered about
we've
these,
learned nothing.
Well, not just that, but this seems to very much not be an instance of like the Miami-Dade shooting for the FBI. It seems like this happened and nobody learned anything. Nobody even tried to learn anything.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, there were protocols put in place because of the JonBenet Ramsey case that should have been followed with Sebastian Rogers. And I mean, I don't know how, as an officer, you're sitting there, you get the 911 call at 6:30 in the morning, and it's our child is missing. How do you not, at least in the back of your mind, go, all right, this seems familiar. I mean, there's differences. Don't get me wrong. Like in the JonBenet Ramsey case, if we look at it, there is the alarm system in the home that wasn't on, right? And in the Sebastian Rogers case, we have an alarm system in the home that everyone has alluded to that apparently has no bearing on this case. Because Multiple people have mentioned there being cameras in the home. The Proudfoots were really cagey about where the cameras are in the home and said there weren't any outside, but that would imply there are some inside. And you would think that one of those cameras would have caught Sebastian at least walking through the house, if not leaving it.
You would think. Also, do want to point out that it's a little weird to have security cameras inside your house, but not also outside.
Little strange. Yeah, I know. I agree.
They bring up a good point, guys. And that is kind of one of those things that got missed along the way was there were cameras inside the home, but not outside the home. Why? So were they doing that to keep an eye on Sebastian? And if they were, I can understand if you have a child who's autistic and he's going to be alone for an hour or two every day after school. You kind of want to keep an eye on him to make sure he's fine. But I don't think that, knowing Chris and Katie, I don't think those cameras was there to make sure that Sebastian was fine. I think those cameras were there to make sure that Sebastian wasn't doing anything wrong. That's my opinion. Sticking to it. Jackie O says, also the thing is, I don't know. I think it was within the first week of Sebastian going missing, they were looking in the landfill. Yeah, exactly. They're not stupid. Yeah. There were a lot of failures in the Ramsey case. I haven't watched the stuff about that, and I know that there's a lot of stuff coming out about it now, and I know Aiden suspects Mr. Ramsey. I did hear Justin today talk about it a little bit. Justin's family actually knew the Ramsey family. He actually knew John Bonet. And so he doesn't have that opinion, which is understandable, you know. And that's the thing. If you're close to, and that's what has gotten this case so off track, guys, in my opinion. And that is why there's sides, because people get close to the parents, and what do? If you're close to someone, you're not going to think that they're responsible for anything, right? You're not. And I remember when I, first started, talking about this case, I was like everybody else thinking, oh, it'd be so great to meet Seth. And, which I'm not saying it wouldn't, right? I'd love to give Seth a big old hug, right? Cry with him a little bit. But I'm glad I'm here in Wisconsin, because I think that I can be a little bit more objective, not knowing Seth. Because I got to tell you, if Seth started crying in front of me, boy, I mean, it's bad enough watching it, right, on YouTube or TikTok or wherever, right? It's bad enough watching it there, but to have it be in person, I'm telling you, that would be difficult. Very good point. Canine says, I've been wondering lately why such a huge police turnout so fast for a runaway child of 15. Kids run all the time, and that doesn't happen. Was it because he was autistic? Just wondering. How about you? Here's my opinion on that. My opinion is because he was a friend of the sheriff's office. That's my opinion. Total opinion. Pulled out all the stops for him. If I have 6 hours to listen, send them to me. But I don't know when I'll get to them. I still haven't gotten through the other ones you've sent me, but we'll get there. Yeah, it would have made it difficult for the search dogs. Definitely would have. But I mean, typically, if the dogs are gonna search in a specific area, they let them go ahead, right? And I think it was Chris, if I'm remembering right, said that they did give them something of Sebastian's to smell. So, from what I understand about search dogs, when they have a scent of something, they're on that scent. And they didn't, nothing. Hello, SRB. That's all right. Yeah, the cars were up and down the street, and Bobby said they were just, she said she'd never seen anything like it. So, yeah, I think that everything that they did was because of the Proudfoot and the Bower Sox families. That's why the turnout was so big. It may have also, well, here would be a good test. There was a 4-year-old little boy that went missing in Sumner County months back. They found him in the woods, I believe by a drone. Was the turnout that big for that 4-year-old little boy? And I believe he was autistic as well. So, I mean, anybody, I don't know if anybody's in here. If anybody who's watching, please email me and let me know. I'm going to put up my email. And let me know, was the turnout that big for that 4-year-old little boy that they did find, and kudos to them for that. But was the turnout the same? That would be the real test, guys. That would be the real test. So if anybody from the Hendersonville area know about that, 4-year-old little boy that was found, and was the turnout as big? I'd like to know that. All right. Let's continue on.
I'm not sure I believe there weren't any outside either. But I mean, so that's just that. Those aren't similar. There's nothing there. I don't know. I know that I make this big thing about it and then I don't say much just because I'm sick and I don't have time to go through the bullet point list of every single thing. I have videos on both. But my point is to say that when I look at the Sebastian Rogers and the JonBenet cases, I see a lot of similarities. And we went over that last week. A lot of the same mistakes were made. A lot of the police issues were the same. But as I'm going through the part 4 stuff for JonBenet, I came across I was looking for something else entirely. I came across a comment from a user called Jameson. And I had read the name Jameson before in Kohler and Thomas's books. I'd read the name Jameson in a number of articles. The name Jameson came up, I think, in one of the documentaries we watched. And the weird part was, I'm reading through this transcript of an interview that happened with Burke Ramsey on the 26th of December, 1996, which I actually was not aware had happened.
Okay, so on this one, he goes pretty far into the John Benet Ramsey case, which is fine. But he talks about this Jameson person, and to me, that really doesn't have anything to do with Sebastian. If I was going to be talking about John Benet Ramsey case other than just the similarities, I'd probably play it for you guys. But I'm going to stop kind of there because it doesn't really have any effect. I can tell you a little bit about what he does later. Seth was in this chat, and Seth asked him if he would send over his case files to him, and he said, absolutely, Seth, let me know where you want me to send them to, gave him his email. So all that kind of stuff. And he talked, he talked about how much he hates Chris Proudfoot. So, and he talked about Chris's truck. He's trying to get Chris to come on the show because it'd be a no holds barred kind of show. So I like Aiden. I like the Lore Lodge. I think they do a really, really good job of investigating and putting together all the information. I think he does a really good job. So shout out to the Lore Lodge because, and we may watch more of their videos of Sebastian here and there. Thank you, SRB. You're sweet. So yeah. Ginger says those heat-seeking planes and drones should have seen Sebastian. Yeah, if he was out there, they should have seen him. He's not out there, guys. And this, I don't know, photo opportunity that Chris is trying to do, going out and looking in caves and whatever, what have you. He knows where Sebastian is. He knows where he is. Exactly, SRB. He makes no bones. It does make me chuckle too. Because you don't expect it from him, right? At least I haven't. But I haven't watched him that much, so I didn't expect it from him. So, yeah, it was kind of, especially when he was like taunting him with his truck. I think that honestly, we're not going to hear from Chris and Katie. I really think, I honestly think that they're shutting up 100%. Has Chris lawyered up? I don't know. But we know that Katie has, right? She's not talking. She's not going to. And so I don't think we're ever going to get anything out of her, guys. I really don't. So, what happens then? Well, that means that law enforcement has to build a strong, solid case of evidence that it will not matter if Chris or Katie never talk. I agree. He's going to stay away until he gets triggered by something again, and who knows what that'll be. I don't know. Be mommy, Katie. I don't even know if he'll get triggered with Katie anymore. Oh, they're watching everything. Yeah, pitter patter. They really are. That, no doubt in my mind. I had a thought on that. Yeah, he thinks we're going to fall for his semantics, right? He's still trying to control the narrative. Here's my answer to him trying to control the narrative and falling for his semantics. Chris, have you not realized yet? We don't believe your narrative. We don't believe it. We don't believe you. You know, we don't believe you. So, your narrative is garbage. Never going to make me believe it. Let's see. So anyway, I was going to say I had a thought about him all of a sudden coming out, and yeah, I'm not going to say it. Sorry, guys. Because it goes against what I want to believe, you know, what I'm trying to stand for as far as Sebastian being alive. But I mean, my thought was, why is he all of a sudden in the woods? Is something going to turn up all of a sudden? But yeah, I think he's just trying to make himself look better. A little bit too little, too late, and it's not working. He might as well quit. And then you had the whole thing where the other guy was doing something right on camera that he shouldn't have been doing, and while he's out there pounding the pavement with Chris, and that in itself is sad, because well, I kind of did. I think you know where I was going with that, SRB. Was something going to turn up? Was he going out there and now something's going to turn up and he's going to be the hero? But it was a thought. I'm hoping that that's not true. Because we all know Chris is not a hero. But yeah, I don't like to. I don't want to go too deep into that. Yeah. Yeah. But isn't it funny how people are seeing right through it, number one. And number two, then you have the guy with him who, that was sad, in my opinion. I know that there's been a lot of talk about it, but here's my thought on that subject. If someone has an addiction problem, that's sad. And maybe, I know he says he did it on purpose, but maybe he didn't realize how much the mic was picking up and that the camera picked up. You can slow things down, guys, and you see what's going on, just like they did, right? And if somebody has an addiction, they need help. especially when they have a family. You know, to me that's not something to make fun of. That's sad. That's really sad. And that's why you won't see me making fun of, I shouldn't say making fun of, but you won't see me trashing other creators. I just won't do it because everybody has issues, right? Everybody has something in their life that, you wouldn't want out there. Yeah. Me too. Everybody, make sure you hit the like button. So yeah, I just don't agree with that, right? I just don't. I don't think it solves anything, and it takes the focus off of what we're here for, to bring awareness, right? Am I ever going to solve a case? No. I know that, right? I know that. But I want to bring awareness. I want to keep Sebastian's name out there. I mean, even taking last night off, guys, all I could think about was, Sebastian's name, but I know that there are enough other people out there to keep it going. But that's really on my heart. I have been doing Sebastian every night for months now. But I'm doing it because I care about him. I want to see him home with his dad. Hello, Meow. But yeah, I want to see him home with his dad, and that's why I do it. That's why I do it. It's been weird because we were used to getting updates almost daily from at night, right? And now we're not hearing much. But there has been little bits and pieces from Nick. One of the things Nick said was that he's going to be doing some national broadcasts. That's coming soon. He is, Pam, exactly. He's like our child. It's like our child. You know that video that I showed you tonight where he's making fun of the tea? I would have loved that. I would have been laughing. I would have hugged him. I would have laughed. What else do you want with your tea, honey? I mean, honestly, he would be like my grandchild. But seriously, and the other thing that I was looking at too, because if any of you are watching my posts on the community post, you'll see that I put up pictures of Sebastian every day, as well as talking about him every night. Green tea, I know, and the way he said it, it was so cute. So I put up, so I'm looking at these pictures and I get criticized, guys, if I use pictures of him where he's too young. I get tired of the negativity. I really do. Oh my goodness, I'd like to throttle some people sometimes. Tell them to shut up. And so, I look at some of them, and there's a couple where he's not smiling. And right away, you know what my thought was? Katie must have taken these pictures, probably told him not to smile because he's got a goofy smile, and they don't like taking pictures of him. And it makes me sad whenever I'm looking at those pictures, right? He is adorable, and here's the thing. When he comes home, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to want to see him. And that would be very overwhelming for Sebastian, right? So Seth is going to have to keep him very close to the vest. As much as we're all going to want to see him, I think an initial hi, maybe on a YouTube thing or something, on Seth's channel or something, and that's it. Because that poor boy, we don't know what he's going through. We do not know what he's going through. I'll adopt all of you guys. Yeah. And yeah, because we think, oh, won't that be awesome? Well, no. He's going to need a lot of therapy. He would just be, yeah. But, Seth will deal with that when the time comes, but all of Sebastian's army is going to party and rejoice. And I'll tell you, when that day comes, we're going to have a party online. I will get online. I'll have my makeup on. I will show my face, and we will have a party. Be a green party. I am 66. If he was out there, he'd be trying to contact someone. Yeah, I suppose it depends on. Remember, he was pretty sheltered. Yeah, he's pretty sheltered. I mean, he does know how to use a phone. But we don't know what he's been told. And is he with someone that makes him very afraid? Because I don't think Sebastian will. I mean, I think Sebastian was afraid of Chris. I really, really do. Well, that's good to know, SRB. We can be friends. Oh, goodness. So, yeah. I love the thought of him being home. I really do. And I hope that Seth dwells on that, right? Because it isn't over until it's over. We don't know. We don't know where he is. And I don't know if I mentioned this yesterday or not. Yeah, I think I did. About 14-year-olds on farms not needing to have anything for them. You know, I don't know how labor trafficking works. Didn't even know that that was a thing. I mean, I know about sex trafficking, right? But I did not know about labor trafficking. Yeah. I agree, SRB. If he is with someone, they are not letting him see the news, be online, have access to a phone, because otherwise we would have heard from him by now. Right? So, yeah. If he's out there, they're not letting him see the news, which they could get videos for him to watch or whatever, right? Yeah. They will. I don't even think Seth will get to see him right away, honestly. You guys are so sweet. Well, I am old enough to be Sebastian's granny, so I claim him as my grandson. I do. I claim him. He's so cute. Green tea. You could give him some. I could claim him all day. He's so sweet. And I know, yes, he's 16, so he, who knows when that video was taken. But I can't wait for him to come home. I really can't. All right, so I think we'll leave it at that, but I'm going to share my grannyism with you guys today. So just because some people are fueled by drama doesn't mean you have to attend the performance. And that was kind of because the video from the Lore Lodge was when true crime becomes crime drama. And right? And we pretty much stay away from that here. We're trying to toss things around. But as far as the drama, we really don't want to be a part of it. And I think that that's what some people are looking for, right? I think that people are looking for a place to go where they can feel safe, where they're not going to hear somebody swearing it up and talking crap about other creators. And I mean, it gets old. It gets really old. And so, yeah, it's so true. You can click right out of it. If you click on something that the title looks good and you get in there and it's like, oh, no. Bye. Thumbs down. Yeah. Drives me crazy. All right. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate everybody here. Pitter Patter, you're from Canada. Awesome. So is Ginger Girl. All right, everybody. I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you know that so much. Thanks for being with me tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Have an awesome night. Thank you for watching another episode of Granny's Crime Busters. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe and like and even share the content. You can follow us on any of our other social media platforms at YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We really appreciate you guys, and you can also email us at granniescrimebusters@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.